So we've already done our 3/4 view head, and now I'm on page 8. And now what we want to do is go down through all of these other diagrams, and let's talk about those planes of the face some more, okay? So if you've got highlighter, marker, colored pencil, or you can just use your pencil, that's fine. What I want you to do is label that worksheet that you've got. So we're going to call that first one. What was this called? 3/4 view. You got it. Brighter color. Three-quarter view. Now next, I want to talk about the front view with you. Label that there. Now I've got my sketchbook. I want you to turn your attention to your first box of your sketchbook. Okay. Now I like to start everything off with just a circle, okay? I want to break it down into simple shapes. I'm going to start right here on that first circle here. There we go. And we're just going to start with a light kind of sketchy circle. Just a circle. See, I'm going real lightly. Light, sketchy circle. All right. Once you got that one down, I'm going to put one more circle right here at the bottom. Now look at mine first. Just a little circle down here, okay? I'm breaking down this face to 2 circles just to start off. Is that better for you? There we go. All right, now as you can see, they've broken this face down into 3 parts with 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. All right, very similar to what we see on the 3/4 view, that 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to start off with those outer lines, those easy ones. That top one, I want to start it maybe like a little 1/4 of the way down from the very top, okay? That's lining up with the hairline right there. So go ahead and put that one in. If you want, and you've got that ruler on your desk, you can use that to give yourself a nice straight line. But you don't have to. You can eyeball it. Now I want to put my bottom line here, the very edge on the bottom of that last circle. Let's label those 1 and 4. Now I want to break this face up into 3 equal parts. So I just want to eyeball those. I know that third one, kind of want it down here on the bottom of the circle. I need one more up here. Try your best to eyeball it so that you get equal parts in between all 4 lines. Go ahead and label those 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, what are some things that you notice about those 4 lines and which features fall on them? What's a feature that falls on the first line? The hairline. Mm-hmm. How about that second line? What do you see lining up with the second line? Number 2, the second one. The eyebrows. Yes, that brow line. What do you see lining up with number 3? The nose. Yes. And how about that number 4? Yeah, the chin. All right, so we've got our 4 kind of guidelines. Now, in between here, we know that like, oh yeah, we got forehead up here. Right here, we got a lot of action, right? We got to see those eyes underneath that second line. We're going to see the nose kind of in here and ending at the third line. And down here between 3 and 4, everything from underneath our nose to the tip of our chin. Now, of course, that's going to be a little bit different for everybody. But if you look at your drawing and you look at your classmates' drawings, you'll notice that most of these faces are broken down into 3 parts, and they're just about the same kind of size between all of them, right? Look at all this. We got everyone different ages, everyone looks different noses and chins and eyes. Some are smiling, some aren't. But you still get that same kind of distance in between all of those features. Okay? So now what I want to do, I've got that in my mind, right? Like that all of these characteristics are going to fall in between these lines. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to start to kind of sketch these out. And I want to look for big shapes, okay? So I think I'm going to start off on these edges of my circle with doing that outer side of the face. Now notice how the corner of the jaw right here starts to turn in. And it closes down here, kind of at our bottom circle on the 4th line. And on the right side, the same thing kind of going. And around, jaw cuts inward here and meets up with the chin at that 4th line. Let's see. You know what's sticking out to me now? These ears. And they're kind of like a real skinny oval shape on each side. Notice how the bottom of that ear lines up with the bottom of the nose. The top of the ear lines up with the eyebrows. I test you to look at a picture of anybody, and you're going to notice, just anatomy-wise, that we've all got our ears kind of situated right in line in this panel of our face right here, between the nose and the eyebrows. There's my ears. All right? So handle those ears. Let's just do this kind of skinny sideways oval. Looking good. All right. Now my hairline, I know it falls on this first line. It kind of comes in a little bit right here at the temples. This guy's got a pretty mean widow's peak. You guys know what that is? Yeah. It's like coming around town down here. Curves in at the temples. It's got some sweet sideburns here around the ears. That's our hairline. And notice the hair itself. Obviously, this is so different for everybody, right? We've got different hairstyles and textures, different hair lengths. Just using this guy as a little example. But his hair kind of comes out here. Outside of the actual head, he's got a little spring in his hair. I just, for consistency's sake, I want us to all do the same hair. And if you feel like, yeah, I got this, you want to add a little spice, a little ponytail or something, go for it, okay? Now, let's talk about that second line, eyebrows. Ooh. Those are going to be right here on our second line. But before you guys do that, I want you to focus now on the second diagram. Pay attention to the lines we have here now. Again, this is going to be a little different for everybody. We've got variation. But what you will notice is that the width of your eyes is about the same width as your nose. And those corners of the mouth, right here, go out a little further than the sides of your nose. All right? Think about it. Look at some pictures. Typically, those corners of your mouth are going to go past that line. They're going to be more in line with your eyes, your iris there. Okay? So let's start on that second line by making eyebrows. Right there. And you want to leave enough space so that you've got 4 lines. Now I really want my ruler. Going in between each side of the face. You want to do these really lightly. Now notice those lines, they don't start on the ear. A little bit in, and we've got about 3 equally set apart little planes. And that's where you want to plot those eyebrows. Am I going too fast? Too slow? Just right? No. Too fast? Okay. I appreciate the feedback. Okay, you've got those eyebrows down. You start putting eyes. Now give yourself enough space between the eyes and the bottom of your third line. Okay, we want to have these little kind of almond shapes here. Rounding out little points at the end. And you want to have them fall in these 2 rows. So I'm going to label these ones 1, 2, 3, and 4 up top. Now the nose. Which line does our nose meet up with? The third, yes. Now, if you all remember, and you were in this class last semester, you'll remember that we drew that nose and it had 3 parts. We have kind of like a circle in the center, the bulb of our nose at the end. And you get 2 little circles for your nostrils. And those are going to fall between 2 and 3 up here. All right. Again, always going to be a little variation. Sometimes it's wider, sometimes small and pointed. Sometimes we got a nose that goes a little crooked. That's okay. Everybody's beautiful. All right. I'm just going to kind of use that to like put in some little nostrils. Notice how that bridge of the nose is kind of like in here. So I'm going to kind of sketch this guy in, give him this little, we talked about those brow bones, right? We were shading our portraits. You get kind of shading in there. Ready for the mouth? Another 30 seconds? Okay. This is my bread and butter. I love portraits. Okay, I see some people looking up and ready to move on. So let's look at that mouth now. Okay, I want to look back at this diagram. So I see the mouth, it's not, I wouldn't say the whole thing is smack dab in the middle between 3 and 4. I want to say it's like a little higher up than that. Maybe the halfway point between those is like at the bottom of the mouth here. So when I go around to my mouth, I'm going to start by making kind of like an oval shape again. All right, very light. Just between the second and third line up here. Light oval. If your lines are starting to overlap and you want to kind of erase some of those old little guidelines, you can. Let me erase some of my sphere a little bit so you can see that space.
Miss Draggy, can you press focus? Maybe zoom in a little bit bigger. On the white remote. No, the other one. Is it the remote? Yeah.
Ooh, there we go.
There you go.
Hey.
Wow, your teacher is so talented. That's intimidating. Beautiful.
Alrighty. You guys ready to finish the lips? I see a lot of eyeballs looking forward. That's how I know you're ready. Okay. Now remember we talked about how our lips get like this little kind of divot in between. A little different for everybody. I'm going to put that between my top and my bottom lip. Right in the center of the oval. Take the side of that mouth out. And now here is where you want to look for that corner of your mouth falling outside of the second and third line. Okay. If you got time, you want to shade that a little. I'm going to shade my top lip in. I'll leave a little highlight on my bottom lip. Okay. Adding in some of that bone structure, see around the eyes. Got your cheekbones here. That looks like a model, I gotta say. And then a little line right here underneath the lip for that chin. I'm gonna scooch this over and draw attention to this third diagram. Now I want to talk about this one because notice when this line comes down, it's crossing right through our eye. Our pupil, iris, center of our eye, is going to be right in the middle of that line. And notice how it's meeting up with the corners of the mouth here. All right. Now when I go back up to my eyes, I'm going to add a little eyelid back in here. Down here. And now those corners of our mouth, right up with where you would have that iris and pupil. Go ahead and put those in there. All right.
I can't.
Do you think another minute?
Yes.
Another minute there, all right. Erase some of my old little sphere that's back here. Now, obviously, it's a little different for everybody, but I want to challenge you. Look at the person next to you. Look at the pictures up here. We're all going to have kind of the thirds of our face set up just like this. And that is going to help you out a lot anytime that you're doing portraits in the future. You're going to notice, what is going on with this drawing? Why does it look like that? what's wrong with my eye? Maybe you got that eye way over here and it needs to move back over here. Falling within those lines. Okay. When you've got that done, I want you to label this one front view. Front view. Okay, can I get a thumbs up if you're done with that one? Let me see. All right. Okay. Got examples on the agenda if you need more time. What I do want to show before end of class, one more, the side view. I think there's a little less going on here. We've already had some practice, so this should get a little easier here, okay? So come on down to the bottom box on your page, number 8, Ocho. Bottom box.
Can you see what, Michael?
All right.
Okay, no.
How many lines do we have here? 4. Woohoo! I'm going to label this one on my page. I want you guys to do this to side view. And I got my lines 1, 2, 3, 4. Mm-hmm. All right. Ooh, 10 minutes. Let's get it done. All right. Can anyone guess which shape I'm going to start off with first? Circle. Close. But a circle. Circle. Very light, very sketchy. Very light circle. Who keeps saying square? Come on now. We're going to confuse everybody. Circle. Okay. Oh man, now you're confusing me. Holy moly. Okay. I'm looking at this guy here. Let's do. You know, I want to have my third line about here. Okay, let's call this line number 3. You guys got your side B started?
Huh?
Now I know that first line is going to be the top just a little bit down for a hairline, number 1. I'm doing this a little out of order from the last one, okay? But I promise you, there's a reason. So I know my first line is right here at the top of the circle, just a little bit down for a hairline. I know our third will be down here, kind of where the nose is. And now my second line is right in between those, halfway between. Now what falls between our third and our fourth line? What do we got there? The mouth and the chin. All right, so I know that between 1 and 2, I got this much space. I'll kind of like the space between the top of my pencil. Maybe this yellow to like where the graphite's from. And I kind of got that same space here. So I want to make another line that's about the same kind of length, right? Because we want to divide it into thirds. So I'm going to make a fourth line right here. Again, this is where you can use your ruler if you have it. If not, that's okay. There's my fourth line. I did this before last time and the chin was just like too long. It was looking weird. So I thought maybe if I go in this order, it's going to help. I think it does. Now, I want to borrow a little bit from this drawing that we did earlier. Now, see how they dropped off the front of that circle, kind of with this straight line. It starts curved and then it goes straight down to the chin. Now, on my side view, I'm going to do kind of the same thing. I'm going to come around and I'm going to go straight down to my fourth line. And my chin. Okay. Here's where we're going to switch it up and look at the second diagram. Ooh, this time, 3 lines. Oh no! What? Okay. I want you to draw these guidelines in now. So a straight line right along the front. Number 1. Now this line is kind of on the outside of our head a little bit, right? I'm going to move it way out here so I have some room for my hair and all that stuff. Yeah, this guy's got some hair. This is the third. Now I'm going to look halfway between those 2 lines. I'm going to eyeball it. About there. 1, 2, 3. A, B, C. D. Don't you want to sing with me? I'm sorry. Alrighty. 3 vertical lines. I'm looking at that ear. I'm feeling like I really want to draw that ear. Notice how it's kind of like a sideways oval again. And what did I say before? How that ear lines up top of the eyebrow, bottom of the nose. You can do it to yourself. I feel it. So looking at this diagram and looking at this one, it's right here on this line. I'm going to make an oval right there for that ear. All right, we're running out of time, so we're going to do this next part real quick, okay? I want to connect this jaw up here. So I know my chin's down here. Around it, around town, over here. Now I want to do the outer edges of my hair. So I know my hairline is up here, kind of. Another widow's peak on this guy. I'm going to come around. Oh, notice it's stopping before the second line. We want to give us some room between our ears and our hairline. Coming in around the temple again. Let's leave some sweet sideburns along the ear right there. Oh yeah. And I'm just going to sketch around kind of this outside of the hair. Notice how it is coming outside of our sphere, but it is not touching the third line yet. Up here. Not at all. I'm not touching this vertical line here. Do not. Now it's starting to come in a little bit there and then juts back out to our neck. And I want to close up the neck on this side too. Before that second, just like that. Now my nose. Where does my nose goes? On your face? It ends at the third line here. Now notice this guy. The nose is protruding out from the face. It's coming out here. Back around town, kind of indents a little where the eyes are, and then comes right back out around town here on the second line. Coming around town. Now on our second horizontal line, which feature did we notice falls on that second line? Eyebrows. All right, now you want to be really careful here. Look between the first and the second line. Those eyebrows, right, really close to this first line. They're nowhere near this vertical. So I'm going to start them really close to the edge of my face. And stop that arch right there. What time is the bell ring? 54. Oh, we got. Oh, we good. We got 3 more minutes. Don't worry. Okay, eyes. Remember how we talked about our eyes are big old spheres inside of our head? So when you look at this picture, you'll notice the eyes have a curve to them. They curve inside. We've got a sphere inside of there. And so the front of your eye, the part we see, is going to be ever so slightly curved. And then we've got the lids around it, like so. Ooh, don't forget, I forgot my nostril right there. Put my nostril back in there. Now the lips, we know it's between our third and fourth line. Notice it looks kind of like a sideways heart. Little kiss. Aww. Now I'm going to put that maybe the bottom of my mouth will be halfway between this line and this line. Divide it up in the middle like this. Okay. And we got little details here in the ear. Right, we have one more video to watch today, but I think we can push it to tomorrow. I mean, Tuesday. Oh my gosh, I won't see you till Tuesday. Great job, everybody. These label this one side view. These are going to be your slide 16, all right? All of these sketches. Why am I writing a slide? I'm so sorry. Side view. So hold on to these. Have a great weekend. Bye. Turn in your screenshot, or I will find you.